Hi, how's everybody doing? I thought I'd start this new thing called Audra Unplugged, and where I can have some good conversation, and I thought now would be a great time because it's fall. It's like October today, and I can't believe it's October because look at this. Look where I'm at. Like, holy shit. I'm wearing my swimsuit underneath here. I've got my tank top on. Hopefully there'll be some sun left so after I'm done with this video so I can go chill out over there. But how's everybody doing? Are y'all doing good today? I really wanted to talk about, this is gonna be a fun month because it'll be interesting to see these videos, how it'll get colder and colder and I'll be wearing more and more clothing. But this is pretty powerful. I want to talk about this time of the year, the fact that in the next couple of months, oh my God, we're gonna be dealing with Halloween in like 28 days. Like in 4 weeks, we're all gonna be dealing with like Snicker bars and M&Ms in our freaking house, thanks to the children or the workspace, right? And then we're gonna be dealing with Thanksgiving right around the corner, and the overwhelm of the holidays, and the drama of emotions that come up, past emotions, family emotions, old past experiences, and just the emotions in general of the holidays, whether they're overwhelmingly wonderful for you or whether they're overwhelmingly awful for you. Either way, we're talking about a like perfect storm for emotional eating and cravings, right? And so I want to talk about the difference here because there's totally a difference, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is cravings. So whenever you have cravings, like think about it, like what do you crave? Like what are the foods that you're like, dude, I'm freaking craving this so bad, right? For me, it's often like creamy, sweet vanilla. So like I really love like Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. It's like one of my favorites. I just started making this brand new homemade ice cream, which is made with coconut milk, coconut cream, coconut palm sugar to give it a little bit more sweetness, and then just vanilla. Like literally that's it, and then you mix it all up in anyhow, it gives me the same high. It gives me the same thing that I'm craving because I'm craving the like sweet vanilla thing. So cravings are almost always associated with a positive experience with somebody else in your past. So what ends up happening is that you really are craving, the emotion and the food are totally like locked in your nervous system. They're locked in your brain, and what fires together wires together. So when I was a kid, I had a very, very close relationship with my grandmother, and we would always make these homemade ice creams together, and we would sit outside in the summer on the ranch and we would eat homemade ice cream together. And I have such powerful, deep, loving experiences with that. And so when I'm craving a loving, connected experience like that, I get confused sometimes and I will crave vanilla ice cream. And this is often what cravings are for us. So there is a technique that I use that can actually help you separate the cravings and the emotion. And I think that's really, really important to realize that there is the possibility of separating these two. So you can have vanilla ice cream if you want it, but it doesn't have to be something that's dictated because you feel like you have cravings, where the craving part, where you just feel like this yearning for it, that can actually become neutral. It's pretty powerful. Now, all of this is different than emotional eating. Oh, there's a bug on me. I just got it off of me. Okay, so emotional eating is very different. Emotional eating is literally you'll eat anything. So it doesn't matter what it is that maybe you keep your house totally free of all the foods that you crave. So like you keep your house free. Like for me, I don't keep cookies in my house. I don't keep ice cream in my house. They're like potato chips. I never crave potato chips. So chips can stay in my house. I can take them or leave them, no big deal. But cookies and ice cream cannot be in my house. I'm not that evolved. Just not. I just don't leave them in the house. I don't even want to think about them. I don't even want them around. But here's the deal. If I am like in an emotional state, what this means is that it's like an old wound. It's a wound from a past experience in my life. And it's a wound that created a sense of not feeling safe, not feeling loved, and not belonging. These are usually old wounds from our childhood. And this is how your primal brain works. It wants to keep you safe and alive. So when you were a child, if you had a situation where your unconscious, your subconscious nervous system, the back of your brain, your primal brain, if there was a situation where it actually believed that you were not safe, that you were not loved, that you did not belong, what happens is that it's you don't have the tools to process these intense, powerful emotions. And because the emotions were so powerful, your primal brain just wants to keep you safe and alive. So you learn how to soothe and give yourself love and ultimately numb out. And one of the top ways we do this is with food. We do it with overeating, emotional eating, and also like over drinking too. It can be even more powerful because sugar and alcohol are both very powerful substances, right? And then now you have the chemical addiction and the physical addiction. It can be pretty powerful, right? So emotional eating is intense because if you have been trained since you were a child to handle when you feel something big, and then your subconscious brain, your primal brain takes over and immediately takes you into those subconscious patterns of I'm not safe, I don't belong, I'm not loved. And these are like old childhood things, guys, like this is big shit. Then of course you're going to emotionally eat, because if that's how you learned how to manage it and that's how you learned how to do it, then that's your pattern. Now that doesn't mean you have to have that, but do you see the difference? One is you're attaching emotion to a good experience. That's what a craving is. And what we want to do is we want to separate those. We want to separate the emotion from the food, so that way you can have the food around or not have the food around, and you literally don't have any craving at all. So for instance, I don't keep ice cream in my house. I don't keep cookies in my house. But sometimes there's ice cream and cookies in my house. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that big of a deal, because there's been, I would say, an 80% separation between these from me emotionally, meaning I know the triggers that I have, and I've done the inner work to be able to, like in my brain, neurologically separate the food and the emotion, so I can go a month and go like, my God, why are there cookies here? Like, I've totally forgot those are here. All right, well, let's just throw that out. Like, that's actually a possibility, people. I'm just letting you know. Emotional eating, where you'll eat anything. Like, emotional eating is that you've hit a core wound, a core childhood, something deep, and your primal brain gets triggered, wants to keep you safe and alive, and then it's like you just want to do anything to make that pain go away, so you numb out by overeating, stress eating, emotional eating. It almost doesn't even matter what you eat. You could totally emotionally eat your entire meal. It could be the healthiest thing on the planet, and you could just eat like 4 servings of it. And it could be that you keep your house completely void of all sugar and junk food, yet you just discovered some random concoction of like oatmeal, like a package of oatmeal that you drizzled with your raw honey and then threw some random baking chocolate on top of it and dumped it in the microwave and just like inhaled it, because it was like this weird concoction you put together. But it didn't matter, because it doesn't actually matter what the food is when you're emotionally eating. It just matters that you get something to try to fill some void that you have. It's pretty powerful. So there are 2 different things, and there's 2 different ways to handle both of these situations, so to speak. So it's what I do. So if that's something that you like are interested in kind of getting over and learning, I'm going to be teaching a webinar on Sunday. And this is what I do for my clients, and especially this time of the year. This is so powerful. This is literally the time of the year. Imagine like going through the holiday season and not feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. Imagine going through the holiday season and like not losing your shit around food, being able to go to parties and not completely blowing it. And imagine what it would be like. Nobody cares in this moment, but I think a lot of people do. That like what it would feel like to actually not gain weight over the holiday season. What would it feel like to actually have an emotional maturity and emotional intelligence and a knowing of what's happening and a way to process these things as the holiday season keeps coming up, with the kids and the finances and the gifts and the obligations and the food and the parties and all of these things, to be able to move through this time of the year with grace, be able to do it in a way that's really like honoring your body and serving your body. Holy shit, how amazing. And be able to just like come into this like deep relationship with your body, and dare I say maybe even lose weight if you have weight to lose during a time of the year that everybody, like nationally, the record is that people, we gain somewhere between 7 and 15 pounds between now. Actually, it's between Thanksgiving and New Year's, like, but I'm sure it starts pretty quick. So now that I'm just talking about it, I thought that would be a good thing to bring up on today's Audra Unplugged. So yeah, here I am, unplugged. I'm about to go sit in the sun, and thank you guys for being here listening. Man, I love where I live. I feel so lucky and blessed. Look at this pool. I'm not gonna get in the pool, but I might go jump in there. That might be fun. See you next time.